Here we go. Hi, my name is Ketsia Devora Abramson. I am currently an 11th grader at the Townsend Magnet Center for the Talented and Gifted High School. Today I'm going to be interviewing my uncle. He is on my mother's side. He is the youngest, I believe, of all siblings, and here he is. His full name is Raymond Kim Arthur. Okay, I'll let you explain.
My grandfather.
Okay.
With your grandfather. So.
Yes. So, hello, Uncle of mine.
My full name, christened name, was Raymond Kim Thornton Suttle, but over the years it's been changed and I've gotten rid of names and all sorts of things, because there's no point in having all these names if you don't use them.
Of course. Okay, so very nice. So can you please... Yes.
As I said about your questions, you asked me what was my full name and my maiden name. Generally, boys don't have maiden names, so... Anyway, but carrying on. My date of birth, that's a state secret. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you. But I'm in my mid-40s.
Good enough.
Besides, I don't want people stealing my identity.
Of course, understandable. All right, so
My ethnicity is... I was born in Zimbabwe, but I have an Irish passport because your grandparents are descended from... on my side anyway, your grandparents are descended from French Huguenots. There's some Swedish connections somewhere along the line. We have got English, Irish, hence my Irish passport, and Zimbabwean, African, I suppose.
fantastic.
Then, next question. Where were your parents, brothers and sisters born? All born in Zimbabwe, though at that stage it was called Rhodesia. Though in fact I think your grandparents, it was probably called Southern Rhodesia when they were born.
All right.
Where have I lived? That's a very, very difficult question. I have lived in Zimbabwe, in what was then, I was born in a place called Bulawayo, which is still called Bulawayo, which is one of the few places that kept its name. Then I lived in a place called Plumtree, which is a tiny little village, which is literally a school in the middle of the bush. Lived in Bulawayo. I have lived in Harare, which was then Salisbury when I was there, and then changed its name in 1984, I think. I've lived in Johannesburg. I have lived in Cape Town. I have lived in Durban. And then I have lived in London for most of my life, 20 years plus. That's the longest time I've spent in any one place.
Oh, very cool.
Then what languages do I speak? Well, I speak English.
Really?
English. Not American. I sort of speak American English as well, because I know how to say awesome. Is, as I have told you many times, reserved for the Grand Canyon, not a pair of trainers. And I also speak French, not particularly fluently, but I can get by in French. I've actually taught acting classes in French. I can speak a little bit of Italian, a little bit of German. I can speak snippets of Turkish, but I haven't been there for a long time, so I've lost it a bit. And also a little bit of Finnish.
Finnish.
As
Interesting.
in Finland, yes.
Huh, that's very cool.
I can say hello in Finnish. Moi! Then, what is your citizenship? My citizenship is Irish. Because having been born in Zimbabwe, they have a weird rule which if you leave the country, and I think possibly also if you're white, Robert Mugabe's not particularly fond of us, so when I can't actually get a Zimbabwean passport despite having been born there.
That's unfortunate.
Not really, but I'd rather be living in America.
There you go.
I mean England and America. I'm going to be so embarrassed when this is played back.
It's fine. It's pretty low quality anyway. Just keep going.
Served military. No, I have not, and I never will.
All right.
The military is wrong. I'm sure it's needed, and I suspect it is needed in some areas, but I just think it's taken us how many thousands of years of fighting Africa in Johannesburg, and then I did my university training, my undergraduate degree at the University of Cape Town, and then in London I did my master's degree in dance studies, which meant choreological studies, which is basically how we use space, and things like semiotics, which is how we get meaning from each other. Why does this mean I'm listening to you? Why does this mean yes? Why does this mean no? In some cultures it doesn't. I just realised I've got earphones in as well. Then also I have studied yoga as well, which I have a diploma in yoga. I have a diploma in feng shui, also known as feng shui by the people who can't speak Mandarin. I think I've got some other qualifications along the line, but I can't remember them now.
You're multi-talented.
Multi-talented, what's the word? Multi-qualified.
There you go.
I think there was a role for boys and girls. The fact that our educational system reflected that boys did things like woodwork and metalwork, while girls did home economics and cooking and things like that. So there definitely was a sense of stuff being allocated, and you had to fit into a certain way of being. So in terms of the sports that we played as well, you did boys obviously played rugby and football, and not American football, it is soccer, and there were some crossover sports like hockey and squash. Your mum was the squash champion, national squash captain, as was your uncle, the other one, and your eldest aunt Leanne and myself played squash, but we weren't very good at it. So next question was, describe your school. The way that things happened for us was we started with a thing called kindergarten, which was before some preschool, and then that took me up to about 5, I think, 4 or 5. Then we started after kindergarten you did KG 1 and 2, then you started junior school, which was standard 1 to 5, and you left when you were 12 to go to 12, 13 you started high school, and the way that our classes were divided were you did form 1 to form 6, and you could leave school after form 4 where you did your O-levels, which stands for ordinary levels, and then you could either do your M-levels, which were sort of a halfway house, to A-levels, and if you did A-levels that would get you into university, but you generally couldn't get into university without A-levels, or I think M-levels. What was socially accepted in your community? I think most religions were accepted, but I suspect things like Buddhism and anything New Agey would have been a little bit more peculiar, because Zimbabwe was probably still is about 10 years behind everybody else.
Right.
In terms of social progress. In some ways, still very, very backward. And being gay there is illegal, and Robert Mugabe is reported as having described homosexuals as worse than dogs.
Ouch.
Like that.
Well, not nice. How about that?
Well, who cares if that's the event who kills 10,000 people that he's done a Minecraft. I'm not really fussed what he thinks about me.
Power to you.
Slave history proves. Then, in terms of religious beliefs, there were Jewish kids at my school, there were Christian kids. We had a couple of Sikhs, one Hindu boy in my class. So there was diversity, but the majority were Christian. And then after that, in terms of racial differences, we had, until I was about 14, we had segregation. And then from a lot of people, it was a huge culture shock. There were some outrageous things said by some of the parents in terms of the boarding hostels, where the boarders. Do you know about boarding school?
Yeah.
Yes, you've got boarding school. A lot of the white parents were concerned about hygiene and sharing cutlery with non-white students, and it's just bizarre. Students will say, that's what racism is. So, in terms of women's rights, you've got down here. Your grandmother also was very much a wife who did what her husband told her to do, in terms of things like she should have been a fantastic actress, and your grandfather refused to act because he said it was inappropriate for a female teacher to be seen on stage by her students. So there was a weird mix. In terms of things like sexual preferences, it was very frowned on to be gay, because it was a very macho culture, and there was a lot of unspoken. I'm not quite sure how we knew it was not good to be gay, but we just did, and people often eat things like we had on Thursdays. For some reason, Thursdays was allocated to be gay day, as it were, and you used to say, it was something like, watch out, the Zimbabwean slang for gay people was moffies. So it's like, watch out, the moffies will come and get you, or something like that. Did you rebel in any way? Maybe we should skip over that question. I didn't drugs, I didn't smoke, I went to a nightclub once, I snuck in when I was way too young to go in, went to a horror movie late one night, and that was the stupidest thing I've ever done, because I can still remember every single frame of that movie vividly in my head, and I had to walk home in the dark on my own after the movie. What jobs have I had throughout my life? I started off as going to art school, and I have sold paintings around the world. As you know, you have paintings of mine in your house. I have been an actor, still am an actor. I've been a writer, director. I have been a film trade consultant, and I've travelled around the world doing that. I have been and I still am a yoga teacher. I teach acting. I have worked in a solicitor's office for a while, which was a grateful job to have. I was a waiter for all of 3 weeks, I think, when I was 16, and I swore never again. And I don't recommend it as a job to anyone. What else have I done? Do I enjoy my work? I love my work. Absolutely adore my work. I've just started designing websites and poster designs as well. And did I attend college? We've done that. What did I study? We've done that as well. Yes, we've done all questions.
Fantastic. Well, I do appreciate you talking to me, Kim. I thank you so much for taking time out of your